You know, I guess both OTRS Central and Solomonster have been having good days with articles lately here on YouTube. Because you see, one thing that Solomonster recently did is he uploaded a video clip where he talked about Jimmy Uso's recent arrest, his third as far as DUI is concerned. Well, I think one was DWI, but you get the idea. Anyway, he basically said enough is enough, and that WWE needs to finally step in and do something. And that's totally true. They need to step in and do something. Because I think they're saying this is the second one this year for him. And the first one was back in February, and it wasn't him driving, but it was Naomi. But he was totally out of it, just bombed, if you will. And she was trying to find where she was going. She got lost, and he tried to, straight up, or kind of, what was it? What did they say? He tried to straight up to the officers or something like that. He tried to stand up to the officers, and finally, after the threat being tasered, he got on the ground. It's like, look, there's no doubt that this doesn't make WWE look good. And WWE does need to do something. They used to do stuff in the past. They used to. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. What was that, 4? Geez, not even 4, 5. God, what was it, 6? No, it was actually, 4 years ago? 3 to 4 years ago? 3 to 4 years ago. Just because of TMZ, who also broke the news about Jimmy Uso's arrest. TMZ broke the news about Lana and Rusev being married in real life. Because they were a real life couple, so it only made sense sooner or later they were going to get married. And they did. TMZ broke this. What happened was this story was broken at the time that on camera, on screen, Lana was now with Dolph Ziggler, at the time a babyface Dolph Ziggler, and she was a babyface. She had turned her back on Rusev. Rusev was a heel. He was mistreating her. But all of a sudden this occurred, and WWE, mostly Vince McMahon, was not too thrilled. So what happened to Lana and Rusev? Well, Lana went back to being a heel very shortly, went back to being with Rusev, and their push or whatever they had went down the toilet. And that's all because of the fact that they got married during a time when they weren't supposed to. So, if WWE is willing to punish someone, or even a couple, for wanting to, finally commit their lives to each other through marriage, and they're doing so during a time when they're involved in a storyline where they're both against each other now. One's on the side of good, one's on the side of bad. Then why aren't they doing something here? That's the biggest question. Why aren't they doing something here? What's with all of a sudden in the past several years, our so-and-so superstar is responsible for their own actions? What's that about now? What's that about? What, you couldn't do that with Rusev and Lana? And have them and basically say, oh, well, Rusev and Lana are responsible for their own actions. Nothing to do with it. You couldn't do it then? You couldn't do it then? Huh? You couldn't do it then. And now all of a sudden you're doing it. Now all of a sudden you're doing this. Why? Why is WWE doing this? Has anybody ever asked that? I'll tell you why. I don't know if anybody's answered this already, but I'll tell you. It's because if they punish their superstar, and in this case the Usos, mostly Jimmy, and they say, that's it, you're done, you're out of here. And Naomi goes with them. But let's say Jay stays behind. Where do you think everybody is assuming they're going to head up to or go to? They're either going to go to Japan, and work for New Japan. They're either going to go to Impact, or maybe Ring of Honor, or more than likely they're going to go to AEW. And you think, honestly, Vince McMahon, Triple H would probably be more willing to let them go. But you get the idea, right? You think Vince McMahon wants to see that happen? He just fires Jimmy Uso, Naomi goes with him, she's done, and then at the end of next month, all of a sudden they show up at All Out? You think he wants that? No, he doesn't want that. He don't want that. So he just decides, hey, let's put this in there. Let's add this little tidbit in there. That's why. Let's add this little tidbit about them being responsible for their own actions. That way, we don't lose them. That way, people don't get on us about being responsible and having to let them go. That's why we get these independent That's why we're getting this damn excuse of a superstar, whether it's a he or she, being responsible for their own actions, because WWE doesn't want to have to be looked at. Basically, WWE doesn't want to have to be put in a position where they have to let them go because of these actions, because Vince McMahon doesn't want talent to go to his competitor because he had to let them go due to certain issues. I mean, look at Rusev and Lana. If Vince McMahon wanted to, he could have let them go for what they did. He could have wrote in a storyline where they both got injured, written off television, they're gone from the company. You think he wanted to do that? No. You know why? Because they would have either ended up in Impact, either in New Japan, or Ring of Honor. And he doesn't want that. You think he wants that? No. It's the same with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy could get rehab help, no doubt. He could have fired Jeff Hardy, no doubt. But what does he do? They use the same excuse that they used here. It's because they don't want the talent that they would have to let go due to these reasons that they get themselves into, which are on the levels of being terminated. They don't want to let them go because they know that if they want to continue doing what they love doing in the ring, they'll go to somebody else. And right now, the most likely place for everybody to go to, that everybody wants to go to, according to reports, is All Elite Wrestling. And do you think Vince wants that to happen? No. Vince does not want that to happen one way or the other. That's why we get this damn stupid excuse from WWE. Oh, all so-and-so superstars responsible for their own actions. BS. You should just come out and say, all superstars responsible for their own actions. You know what? Here's what they should do. They should rewrite that. They should reword it. They should rephrase it and go like, so-and-so superstars responsible for their own action, and then in apostrophes put, but in reality, we just don't want them we don't want to have to fire them so they can go to another wrestling promotion like All Elite Wrestling. That's what they should do. They should just put in parentheses at the end of that sentence, but real reason is we don't want to fire them, and then they end up going to our competitor like All Elite Wrestling. That's about it. That's the reasoning. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the reasoning. And I think we all know that. WWE knows that. And I guarantee you, when they go to Fox, when they debut on Fox, 2 days after All Elite Wrestling debuts on TNT, Fox ain't going to tolerate this crap. They're going to say, because I'll tell you this, if something like this happens again, whether it's with Jimmy or Jay or even Naomi or whoever, Fox is going to be like, what are you going to do about this? And if WWE tries to pull the same crap, Fox is going to be like, no, this don't fly with us. This don't fly with us. You either get this person to get help, you either put this person in rehab, or you terminate the contract. Fox ain't going to tolerate that. You know it, and I know it. They ain't going to tolerate it. And that's the truth. So WWE better enjoy the whole, all superstars are responsible for their own actions excuse as long as they can. Because come October 4th, that'll all come to an end. Because Fox, I guarantee you, Fox Sports ain't gonna deal with this shit. They're gonna either tell them to put that individual in rehab or terminate the contract. Or be honest about why they're putting this excuse out there. And I guarantee you, one of them will call Vince McMahon and say, the only reason you're putting this excuse out there of them being responsible for their own actions is you don't want them to go to a competitor. That's about it. Someone's going to call them out at that. Someone at Fox is going to call Vince McMahon out about that and point out that being the real reason. I guarantee it. But you and I know that's the real reason for this excuse. It's because they don't want to have to be responsible for firing them and then be looked at as a company that fired someone because of what they did, and all of a sudden, about a month later, that person ends up in another company. Or maybe even the week after. They're not going to want that. You know it, and I know it. And that's why they put up this damn excuse. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. That's the reason. That's the reason they put up this whole, our superstars are responsible for their own actions. That's the only reason they do it. Because they don't want to have to take responsibility and possibly terminating somebody's contract, especially if they've done this three, 4 times, whatever, and then by doing so, giving them free range to go to another competitor. Vince McMahon don't want that. But again, he better enjoy using this excuse as long as he can. Because come October, Fox ain't tolerating it. And everybody watching this knows that. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Let me know down below. Talk to y'all later.